Welcome. We are back. Another day higher for the market. I mean, just been kind of straight up this week. It's been crazy to say the least. What's up, Nerve B Johnson, Danny, and AK already in the chat. Papa Estrada, nice to see you in the chat. So yeah, it's a crazy market. This is probably the best market we've seen the whole entire year. Maybe not exactly. There were other rallies. We had this rally back in March. I think that was even more impressive than this, but to me this just has felt like the biggest one just because of what came before it. I mean, when we had this rally over here, you just kind of reversed and there's really dumped. There was just a lot more volatility. Right now we're kind of getting this after a consolidation, so it's a little bit more like stable, I guess. I don't know. So we'll get back to that. Let me start off with crypto, then I'm going to be talking about some other markets. And yeah, so let's get started with Bitcoin, which pulled back today. It's up about 10% since the entry of the swing. It already broke out of this wedge, and kind of just an indecision day. On lower time frames, we were talking about this back test yesterday, and it looks like it's held for right now, which is good. Bullish engulfing candle, a couple candles back, so good. This is what you want to see. This could also kind of be looked at as a bull flag, so that's good. If you can just continue to hold like above 23k roughly, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just this general area, that could set you up for more upside. There's not much resistance till about 25k from this level, so nice to see that. Moving on to Ethereum, very similar kind of flagging as well. Do watch out for that hidden bearish divergence developing on the daily. Nothing really has changed here. I'd say your support's just this recent low you put in on the 4-hour at around 1462, and then resistance is these previous lows around 1700. So you're just kind of right in between them, consolidating, getting a small move up right now. The new day actually just started. So next up, we got the altcoins. Litecoin is up a few percent since the entry of the swing. It was up more at the highs. At the highs, it was up about 10%. So yeah, this one I did not mark a break even because it kind of went up and then just right back down. But it's holding for right now. That's good. The one I did mark a break even on the sheet, which kind of went right back up, is OXT. So this one went up like 12%, then it went all the way back down to the entry, and the rule on the sheet is I mark it a break even if it does that, and then today it shot right back up. If you're watching the stream early in the week, I think I was already talking about the potential for this happening, and it literally happened. Like, I kind of predicted it, but that's obviously not a good prediction because it went right back up. It is what it is. All the other crypto trades are up, and then of course we have the Chainlink trade, which is up about 10% since the entry as well. So that's really where we're at on the altcoins. Moving on to some other markets, let's get started with the 10-year. And if you've been watching the stream, I've been talking about this bearish structure developing. I'm probably going to actually just keep it charted now. I've been kind of recharting it every night. I'm going to keep it on the chart at this point because we got the first move down off the right shoulder of this potential head and shoulders bearish pattern. If you've been watching streams, I've been saying this is the type of pattern that can really reverse this uptrend if you break down from it. You haven't broken down yet, but definitely a large rejection off the second test of this right shoulder. And that hidden bullish divergence isn't even confirmed yet because of that pullback today. So pullback day for that. The crude oil, actually, this one is a little bit surprising to me, but it had a large drop today, kind of back down to the 200-day moving average after testing a breakout and then back testing it yesterday. So I'm not sure if there was any news or anything, but definitely really didn't see that coming. On the 4-hour though, we did talk about another bearish flag. It's just that it kind of broke out of the wedge too. So it kind of did the opposite of what the market did. What the market did was it had a bear flag and it also had a long-term bullish wedge, but the bullish wedge played out for the market, thankfully, but not for crude oil futures, at least for now. So next up, we have the energy sector, still kind of testing this critical level. It was resistance over here, then support here, and now you're testing it yet again. Hammer candle today for XLE. Moving on to metals. This is interesting, and again, This is why you want to watch the streams. Literally last night I was saying it could be time for gold to finally bounce. We were talking about this MACD. It was oversold. The 1677 support level has been charted for months now. And look where you're bouncing off. I had this level charted when we were all the way up like over here. You dropped all the way right down to that level. That level was charted because of all of these lows over here. And then you bounced off of it. Pretty close to a bullish engulfing candle today. Nice lower wick on that candle too. That's exactly what you want to see. This is what could, again, lead to a short-term reversal at least. Who knows if it's going to be more eventually. But you also have that classic bullish divergence just like silver, which is confirmed. Hammer candle today for silver. It's still testing this level, which used to be resistance, as resistance. So breaking back above 18.9 would be good. And then next up, the dollar currency index kind of going sideways after selling off a bit. It's been just moving sideways, but it did break down from this bearish pattern, back test it, and out selling off again. That's kind of like a bearish break, hook and go. So there's that. And then next up, finally, for other markets, the Hang Seng Index did end up filling the gap we were talking about yesterday and selling off even more, which is really it. So those are other markets. What's up, Mr. 90210 DB, Medic 5, and Connie in the chat. How you all doing? Hit the like button if you just joined the stream, if you want to. And now let's talk about the overall market, which is doing very well, very, very, very well. We talked about the S&P 500 breakout on Tuesday. You've now had 2 follow-through days in a row. Remember, this was never back tested. You never got a back test off that wedge. You don't need to get one.
Appreciate all you do.
Thank you very much, Nerve, for the $21 tip. I really appreciate all your support, Nerve. Day one, you were the first one in the chat tonight, and you were one of the first ones to ever watch the stream. One of the most recurring viewers and supporters of the stream. I really appreciate everything you've done for me. I hope you're doing well, seriously. Let's get some vibes in the chat for Nerve. First tip in a while. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the $21. You're awesome. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, with the market, you are trending higher. You do have this gap fill around 401, which we've been talking about this week. That seems to be the next big level for the S&P 500 to test. We'll see if we get there though, okay? Because futures are down. I mean, I think we're going to get there eventually, but if we're talking about the short term, futures are down. Snapchat had a horrible reaction to earnings. I think it was down like 25% or something after hours. And if we head down to lower time frames, we do have, and we were talking about this last night, kind of didn't matter at all today, but we do have triple classic bearish divergence developing. And you're at a good level. You're not too far away from this gap fill. You only got to go up like a little bit over 0.5%. But you do have this channel developing. And again, remember, this is down after hours. So if you do gap down tomorrow morning and you can't kind of catch some bids with futures overnight, this could set you up for a pullback day, maybe to get us to eventually back test that breakout and then move higher, which I was talking about earlier in the week, and it hasn't happened. And I got personally burned on puts trying to play that move. It is what it is, so I might be a little bit biased. You also had this, which it was interesting to me that this broke out right before the close. Usually, you know, it's a bearish pattern. You most of the time see this break down. It broke to the upside. This is what we call autopilot mode. Okay, we've had a number of bearish patterns on the 15-minute charts, the 5-minute charts, and they just don't matter. Ever since Monday, they just really haven't mattered. You just keep going higher. SPY's in autopilot mode. I do think that's going to change soon. We've been rallying for 3 days in a row. I don't think we're going to see another straight up the whole entire day type of day tomorrow. You know, it might be a green day, but I just don't think we're going to get the same type of price action. I do think we're going to be seeing some pullbacks tomorrow, Monday maybe. But I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy. I think the market's still in a very healthy state from a technical standpoint. You got some major breakouts. The only thing that could really affect things is obviously catalysts. Next week we have FOMC meeting on Tuesday and Wednesday, I believe. And then next week is like the main event for earnings. All the big names pretty much, most of the big names pretty much reporting next week. So those obviously will move the market in some manner. And that's really where you're at. So tomorrow I will be looking to see if the S&P 500 breaks this demand line. I've recharted this a lot of times, so you maybe have a different perspective on it than I do. But that's where you're currently at. Again, you know, we were talking about this breakout all the way over here. It's been playing out nicely. And I still think that there's more upside over the next few weeks for this move. unless some bad catalyst comes next week. But just if we don't get a bad catalyst, I do think just naturally the market could see higher prices. But I would like to see a little bit of a pullback first. That's all I'm saying. That's really where I'm at, just from a planning standpoint. I don't know the future. That's just kind of what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that's the S&P 500. Let's move on to the QQQ, which we've been talking about quite a bit as well. Broke out of this falling wedge and broke back above this blue zone yesterday from these lows and these highs in 2020 and 2021. So you broke above that. Your next resistance for the QQQ is kind of all the way up at like 314, 315. But again, keep in mind this is down. This is the NASDAQ futures are down almost 1%. So this is not kind of the same thing after hours. It looks a little bit like that. So if you do get that rejection again, this is what sets you up for a potential pullback. Because imagine we gap down a little bit and we open up around over here. Then you're back in this whole entire resistance zone that you were able to break above today, but you are now back under after hours. And then you would also be below this demand line. All right, now this is, again, the type of formation that could set you up for that pullback just for a back test. You also have 1 hour classic bearish divergence. So I've been a little bit of a broken record the past couple days, and I have been wrong about, a pullback on the way up, but I really do think that if you can at least get towards that gap zone, that this is kind of, and again, if I'm surprised again, I'm surprised again, but I'm just going to be sharing what I see on the charts. It's not always going to be right. So that's really where you're at. If you open flat tomorrow and you do recover overnight in terms of futures, then we'll take a different look at it, because then you're going to be above resistance, like how you close. Like how you close is good. How you close is good. You're above resistance on the SPY and on the QQQ, and you have gap fill above for the SPY, and you're above resistance on the QQQ. It's not a bad close at all. It's just if you can't hold that gain, at least like the last few minutes of price action, if you can't hold that overnight, then that sets you up, I think, for a move back under resistance, which you literally just broke above. So if there's anyone to blame for that potential tomorrow, it would be Snapchat, because Snapchat really did bring a lot of the indices and a lot of other names down after hours. So we'll see. And then moving on to the NASDAQ, which is very similar. It is testing resistance. You could see this 12,000 level was resistance over here and over here. So you're retesting that. This could also line up with what I was talking about on the lower time frames on the SPY and the QQQ. The ARK ETF is now moving higher after the breakout we were talking about as well from this zone. You do have some resistance around 50. Used to be resistance over here in 2019 and in 2018. So you have that. Next up, the Russell 2000. Higher today as well. That gap fill is around 183.5. Yeah, 183.5 is your gap fill there on lower time frames. Getting so many. No, I'm just gonna flip my phone. All right. Yeah. So you have this gap fill over here. This actually could turn into a bearish harmonic, which would be interesting. Be turning into a bearish bat, and that PCZ of the bearish bat would line up right at this 188 level. So that would actually be really interesting if we do get up there. This is something, it's a little bit speculative for right now, but assuming we do make this move up to 188, you would probably be overbought at that point on the RSI. You'd be at a resistance from these lows back over here, and you would be at the PCZ of a bearish bat. So let me set an alert there. That might be an area where you could see a pullback for small caps. Maybe I'll place some puts on it, but we'll have to see what it looks like when it's there. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the market overall. I'm very happy, obviously, with the breakout moves. I do think that a short-term pullback back test could be, on the table soon, but I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to do this again or this. I just think, again, a pullback. I'm not thinking a continuation of the crash. I do think we're in a new phase for the market. It just takes some time, and I think it's happening a little bit too quick for what I would like. So we'll see what happens. So that's the overall market, and then we did have Snap report after hours. Nice move during the day today. If you remember last night on stream, we were talking about this breakout being tested. It did break out, and it made a nice move intraday from the open. But of course, technicals mean nothing when you have earnings on the same day, or at least after the market closes. And, well, safe to say the reaction to earnings was not so great. And now you're kind of back at the lows for the year for Snapchat. So that's really what happened. It's kind of like this range between like 12 bucks and 16 bucks now. I mean, we can just kind of chart the bottom of this like this. Like, you're just in this little range over here. You were just getting out of it, and earnings happened. So that's really what happened with Snapchat today. In terms of Snapchat, if it does break under that like 11 upper 11 low, then the next support I see is around 1050. I'm like joking, like 1050. And then of course the top of that range is around 16. Tesla had earnings yesterday. This made a monstrous move today. It was up 10%. I had Tesla calls yesterday. I sold them before earnings. It is what it is. You know, could have just as easily gone the other way, I guess. But yeah, I haven't even looked at them. They're probably up a lot. But we were talking about this last night as well, this triangle. It broke it kind of by gapping up at the open, and then it just ran and ran and ran the whole entire day pretty much. Closed around this 822 resistance level. You could see a couple of highs and lows from over here. So these are my levels on the 1 hour. I guess we could try a couple more. So your supports under you are 780 and 758. You've also got this gap fill around 746. In terms of resistance, 822. You've got a gap fill around 857, and then you got resistance at 888. So those are my levels. One thing I do like though is these consistent higher lows. You continued to do that for a while, and now you just got your breakout move. So just that price action looks healthy to me. But again, if that market does give like the little back test pullback move, then maybe you also get the same thing on Tesla. You probably will if the overall market does that. So now let's talk about the swings. Fisker was up a couple percent today. New high for the swing. It is currently up. Let's see. 12% since I alerted it, so this can no longer be a losing swing trade. Worst case scenario, it's a break even if it falls back down to 910. And just like I said last night on the stream, I'll say the same thing again. There's not much resistance until the first target. The hard work has already been done. You already double bottomed. You already confirmed the classic bullish divergence. You already broke out of the wedge. All the hard work's been done. It's just hoping that it hits the first target now, which is about 70 cents away. So that's really it. Can you get up to the next level? You do have a gap fill to look out for around 1042. So there is that. But apart from that, nothing too crazy on the way to the first target. So nice move there. CLOV was up 4% today. This is another one that's very, very close to the first target. And this will be the first... I just knocked on what I had to. This could be the first winning CLOV swing trade in a pretty long time, which would feel really, really good. 4 cents away. 4 cents away. Let me check what it looked like after hours with the market pulling back. Pulled back 1% after hours, so honestly, if this is around like 280 tomorrow when the market's open and stuff, I might just mark it green on the sheet. It's pretty much at the first target, to be honest. It's already up 18% since I alerted it. Like, cool. I alerted this at 237. Now it's at 280. Really good move. And even apart from the swing trade alert, which was based off this triple bottom, the breakout, the classic bullish divergence and all that, even just recently, just a few days ago, what were we talking about? The 30-minute cup and handle. And I was saying, word for word, get above 265 and 280 is your next level. That's exactly what happened. You broke above 265, you back tested, you went right up to 280. That's the most technical stuff ever. Break your cup and handle, flip the breakout area into a support, and then go higher to hit the next resistance at the close. That's exactly what the chart was indicating, and that's exactly what happened, and that's what I love to see. So now you are entering a little bit of resistance, which is why that first target is at this area. You can see these highs from the end of May, even the beginning of May, from February. So it is entering some resistance, and we'll see what happens. But congrats if you are long CLOV in the short term. You know, long term it's still quite down there, but it's a good start. So let's celebrate the small wins for today, okay? And then moving on, SHAK already hit the first target of the swing. It is now testing this resistance from June. If that breaks, and there's literally nothing until the second target of the swing, That's really it. Uber up a little bit today. Same analysis as yesterday. Uber is up. Let me also move this. So a lot of the swings can't even fail anymore. At worst case, they're just going to be break even. So Uber is now also up 12%, only a few percent away from the first target. That first target is really your next level, the scalp fill over here. I hope you're enjoying the swings. It's been a while they've done this well. Since they've done this well, thankfully I put out like 20 of them before the market really started rallying, and now we're seeing multiple of them hit targets. So yeah, we have Best Buy next. Pretty much a flat day, really no change since yesterday, so no update there, but another one up 12%. Let me move up the alert here. So worst case scenario, this is a break even. Just so, let me check. So Fisker cannot fail anymore. CLOV can't fail anymore. SHAK already hit its target. Uber can't fail anymore. Best Buy can't. SOFI already hit it. So yeah, every single swing worked out. Not all of them have hit their targets yet, but all of them gave profit, and worst case scenario, it's a 0% from the entry if they become break evens. So Fisker, CLOV, SHAK, Uber, Best Buy, SOFI, all the swings I've alerted in the past couple weeks in this channel that's free for all of you have all been money makers, which is cool to see. I didn't even really realize that until now. So yeah, next up we got SOFI, which is up 1% today. It's up 22% since the alert. Really no resistance to the second target either. I wish there was more updates to give. It's just they're doing exactly what I wanted them to do. So that's all I can really say at this point. The weekly sheet is looking good. Of course, as we were just talking about all of those swings being up, this is what it, well, that was yesterday. No, that was today, sorry. This is what it looks like. And even this OXT, I mean, this is already back up like 10%, but it is what it is. So we've already had 5 swings hit targets this week. All of these ones are up. It's nice to see it. And this was from today. Oh my gosh. Did I not? I forgot to update literally all the swings over here. Because Fisker's up way more. Yeah. So I messed up on this today. I didn't even realize that. But yeah, these are actually even better than it looks like right over here. I didn't even update. I think I did update Bitcoin and Link. I just must have forgotten to update the non-premium swings that are stocks. So like all of these are like higher pretty much. Yeah. So those are the swings. That's where we're at. I think I'm just going to keep tonight's stream a little bit short, just kind of an update on the markets and the swings, nothing too crazy. We talked about Tesla and Snap too. So we're going to leave it at that for tonight. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Final stream of the week. Reminder, premium sale ends tomorrow. This is the first sale since February. So in like 5 months, this is your first opportunity to get in at a sale, unless you saw the flash sales, which I do very rarely as well. So there we go. This is the sale. The sale ends pretty much tomorrow when the market closes. If you've been thinking about it, if you always hear me talking about it, that's going to be ending tomorrow. I did alert 2 options today. Not going to really do breakdowns on them tonight, but I alerted some Netflix puts. Those failed. I think it was minus 30%. They were lottos, and then I alerted SPY lotto calls. Those went up about 90%. So 30% loser, 90% winner, but they're both lottos. And that's really the results from today. So thank you for watching the stream. Hope you have a good night and a good weekend. If you trade tomorrow, good luck and peace out.